This is the Park Life Podcast, and we are here with a bonus episode about not Genie Plus, but it is about the new system, which is called the Lightning Lane Multi Pass. Did I get that right, Mike?
Yes, that is correct.
This is my co host, Mike. And you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get
Absolutely.
started?
I can do that. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be listening to us from. I am Mike. I'm a travel planner who specializes in all things Disney. And my friend here is.
I'm Janelle, Janelle Love, and with Disney Parks with Love on Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, all the places. What did I say? YouTube, TikTok, and anywhere that Mike is, I'm there. Because he's really cool.
And what Al didn't say is that she is a local and is in the parks multiple times throughout the week. So she's the eyes and ears inside the park most days, and I'm the ears and eyes outside the park on days. So
on on most days.
most days, yeah. I
most
guess
most days.
okay, sure. So, as Janelle said, we're going to talk about what we currently know as Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes. If you've not heard, Disney made an announcement within the last week that they are modifying the current pre-ride selection system. I don't think I can say that twice in a
I
row.
don't know. All of it. It's
Yeah.
a little
Yes. So
wordy.
we'll take kind of a little road down memory lane here, if you will. So
Okay.
pre-COVID, you go back 5+ years, Disney had a system called Fast Pass, and those that are park enthusiasts like we are, you remember that fondly. There were kiosks in the park, and you would go up to the kiosk and swipe your plastic park pass or your Magic Band, and you get a little ticket that would slide out and tell you here's the ride attraction and here's the 1 hour return time that you could go back and ride that ride. And everybody fondly loved Fast Pass Plus back then. Well, COVID happened, and when the park reopened, the Fast Pass system was gone. And initially, there was no system at all as they reopened the parks and kind of got back to some semblance of normalness of what we used to know Disney about. But they introduced a system called Genie Plus, which was in Disney's eyes, an enhancement of the old Fast Pass Plus system. You would purchase that initially when they launched it. You could purchase it ahead of time
Yeah.
in selections, and then after a little while, they modified it, and you could only purchase Genie Plus the morning of your park day. And they also introduced this concept of an individual lightning lane for their most uh, they're the busiest, most popular
Popular.
attractions.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was the new system. I think probably started in 2021, maybe late 2020 after COVID, somewhere in that neighborhood. And that was a system that is still in place as of today. But Disney announced changes, and they said we're going to also simplify the name of the systems so that it would be easier for everybody to understand. I think the jury's still out on that. We'll see. We'll leave that for another podcast. But what is currently the Genie Plus system will be renamed, as Janelle mentioned, Lightning Lane Multi Pass.
Yes. Say that really quickly. Three
No,
times fast.
no, yes. I'll have to untie my tongue after I try. The what's currently called individual Lightning Lane will be renamed the Lightning Lane Single Pass.
Okay.
So we now have two new acronyms, LLMS and LLISP. I'm sorry, LLMP and LLSP.
LLSP.
I can't even get them right.
See, I don't know.
Yes,
Something new to get used to.
absolutely. So we've probably already confused you with all of the different names and what have you. So what I think is best to do, Janelle, and you can chime in here and tell me if you think differently, is we're gonna, for the most part, set aside the Fast Pass system, what it
Yep.
was, Genie Plus system, what it is, and solely talk about what we will have when the new system takes effect.
I agree. Let's talk about what's ahead, and so everybody hopefully understands that by the end of this podcast.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing to say is that the new system goes into place on July 24th. And if I look at my calendar, July 24th is a Wednesday.
Okay.
Probably smart on Disney's part to start it in the middle of the week and not on a weekend. and not on a holiday weekend either. So on July 24th, you'll be able to purchase the new Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, the new Lightning Lane Single Pass.
Okay.
If you are on vacation and your vacation falls on July 24th, on July 23rd, you'll be buying Genie Plus. On July 24th, you'll be buying the new Lightning Lane Multi-Pass.
Okay.
So we'll start there and put it right there. July 24th is the new system. Okay. There are perks with the new system that you might say, well, does that mean I can buy it sooner than that? And the answer is no. If you're on vacation at Disney World, July 20th through July 30th, you're buying Genie Plus July 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. You can buy the new system on the 24th.
Okay.
Okay. I think what would be the easiest is to tackle the Lightning Lane single pass option first.
Okay.
There's less content around that to understand. So we'll start with the easy stuff first.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. This is all you. This is
All
all
right.
y'all are gonna have to listen to Mike. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry too. Thank you. So the
Okay.
Lightning Lane single pass, which today is called individual Lightning Lane, it will essentially work the same way as the individual Lightning Lane does today, with a
Okay.
small tweak in there. You'll be able to secure a ride time to one of the most demanded attractions. So at the Magic Kingdom, that includes Tron and it includes Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. At Epcot, it includes Guardians Rise of the Resistance. I'm not Rise of the
No.
Resistance. What am I thinking? Guardians. Help me out, Janelle.
And Remy?
No, not
No,
really. So just Guardians.
just
Um,
Guardians. And then Hollywood
Hollywood is
is
Rise of the
Rise
Resistance,
Resistance.
and Animal Kingdom is Flight of
Flight of
Passage.
Passage.
There we go. Sorry about that. So again, let
It's
me
okay.
repeat. You can secure ride times for the most demanded rides. Magic Kingdom has two. That makes them a little unique. It is Tron and it is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The newest ride at Magic Kingdom, Tiana's, is not a currently virtual queue going to be, I'm sorry, not an individual Lightning Lane. It will not be a single pass option on July 24th. It
Okay.
is fully virtual queue and it will be multi-pass. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Epcot is Guardians. Again, Hollywood Studios is Rise of the
Rise.
Resistance, and Animal Kingdom is Flight of Passage.
Okay.
All right, you can purchase up to 2 Lightning Lane single passes per day, but
Okay.
they have to be for 2 different attractions. So I cannot purchase 2 for Tron in the same day. I can buy
Okay.
one for Tron and one for Seven Dwarfs. I can buy one for Tron and one for Guardians. I can buy one
Okay.
for Rise and Flight of Passage. You kind of get the idea, but you cannot buy 2 of the same ride in one day.
Okay.
Okay. So again, it works very similar to the current individual Lightning Lane. You're purchasing a ride, you're purchasing a guaranteed ride slot for one of those popular rides. Okay. There is a difference to the new Lightning Lane single pass compared to individual Lightning Lane. And I'll get into that because that same change is available for the multi pass system.
Okay.
So I'm going to pause. Anything you want to add? Anything that I said that you're like, what the heck did that dude just say?
No, nothing that I want to add. Um, it all kind of sounds familiar, kind of like you said, it's like the old system. So I think we're good to go from here, from here. We're okay.
So let's dive into multi-pass, and there are going to be facets of multi-pass that will apply to the single pass, and we
Okay.
tie those together here. There are you're going to hear benefits to the new system that you don't get today with Genie Plus, and frankly, you didn't get back in the day with Fast Pass Plus either.
Right.
So with the Lightning Lane multi-pass, again, that's formerly called Genie Plus, you can make your plans ahead of time. What? So Genie Plus today at 7 a.m. the morning of my park arrival, I can have Genie Plus purchase and I can start making my first selection. Okay. With the new multi-pass, if you are staying on Disney property, all of the Disney resorts, including Shades of Green, including Swan and Dolphin,
Okay.
All Stars, Coronado, Grand Floridian,
Yeah.
all the all the normals. You will be able to purchase your multi pass up to 7 days prior to park day.
Okay. Okay. I like it.
Thinking, yeah. So instead of the morning of, when you're trying to wake up after flight down or it's park
Yes.
day number two, you got the littles that you got to get up and get moving, and you got to do all this stuff. That'll go away. You can pre-purchase and make selections up to 7 days in advance if you are staying on property. If you're
Okay.
off property, staying, at grandma's house, you are local, staying at the hotel down the street, whatever it may be, you will be able to make your Lightning Lane multi-pass purchase 3 days in advance.
Still
So
like it.
good benefit, right?
Yes.
Now let's talk about that resort guest real quick. And I have an example. We'll try to hold that till the end, but
Okay.
I will be able to purchase my multi pass up to 7 days in advance for the entire length of my stay, up to 14 days.
That was going to be my question.
Wow.
I
So,
know. Look, you answered it.
yes. So today,
Yes. That's awesome.
and I don't want to do my example yet, but today, if you were going to Disney and you were going to be there for 10 days, say July 1st through the 10th, so it's before this new system comes in, I have to wake up early in the morning and buy Genie Plus and make my first selection for that day. And I have to wake up each morning for all
Hmm.
10 days to do that. Fast forward to after July 24th,
I love
again,
it.
up to 7 days in advance, and I can do it for my entire length of stay, up to 14 days if you're staying on property. If you're one of those 3 days prior guests, again, staying at grandma's, hotel down the street, you're a local, whatever the case may be, you would be able to purchase 3 days in advance, but only for one park day at a time.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
There are obviously benefits to staying on property, and this is one of them. All right. Here's another thing that's cool. In
Okay.
today's Genie Plus system, you have to buy it, and then
Uh-huh.
you look and see what rides and attractions are available and at what times. So you're spending the money, and then you might not get the rides that you want to pick because they're
Right.
already booked. Okay. With the new multi pass, again, you're pre purchasing it. You will be able to choose your experiences and times for your pre selects. We'll talk about that in a minute prior to purchase. How about that? You actually get to look at the menu
To
before
look
you
at
order,
it.
right? What a concept. Great advantage. So you're on the My Disney Experience app. You get to see what attractions are available to make your pre selects with an S, plural.
Yep.
For Genie Plus, you're not getting multiples. Um, and make those selections and then pay for the service.
Right.
Pretty cool. You can make 3 pre-selects. So I can have my first 3 ride attractions and times pre-booked 3 days in advance, 7 days in advance before I ever get to the park. So I'm locked into 3. Certainly an advantage over Genie Plus today. Great deal.
Yep.
If you're old school, you might be like, hey, that sounds like Fast Pass Plus because I could make 3 of those back in the day. Here's where this system's even better.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Old school Fast Pass, you could get 3. You had to use all 3 before you went back to the kiosk to pick a fourth one. With the new multi pass option, I pre select my 3. Let's say I'm going to the Magic Kingdom and I have Peter Pan, uh, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Jungle Cruise.
Okay.
And my very first one of the 3, as soon as I badge into, say, Peter Pan, if that's the first one, I can go into my Disney Experience app and select another one.
I love it.
Now, it's subject to availability, of
Right.
course,
Right.
but in theory, you will essentially have 3 rides time secured throughout the park day up to a certain point when availability
Right.
is
Right.
exhausted. But again, better than the old Fast Pass where you had to use all
Yes.
3 before you could get a fourth. With this, you're getting a fourth one, a fifth one, a sixth one every time you use your first one of the 3 in order.
Right. I love that
Amazing.
because I just, even in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like you can just keep going. And it's not like the pause and if you're
Yeah.
trying to, utilize at a certain amount of time, like you're going to be able to do it. You
Yes.
should be in theory. In theory.
Right. In theory, now there's always caveats to things, right? And
Yes,
nuance.
absolutely.
With pre-selecting, and this is pre-selecting only, Disney has established ride tiers, a tier
Okay.
one and a tier two for Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. For pre-select, you can only make one tier one selection ahead of time,
Okay.
two tier two selections ahead of time.
Okay.
That sounds vaguely familiar to the old Fast Pass system that they had categories. So at Magic Kingdom, I'm going to make my pre-selects 7 days in advance. I'm going to Magic Kingdom my first park day. I can pick one tier one ride and two tier two rides. The
Okay.
tier one rides at Magic Kingdom are Big Thunder Mountain, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan, Space Mountain, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Those five. All of the rest of the rides at Magic Kingdom are called tier two. So I'm pre-selecting. I can pick one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rides, and I can pick any two of the other rides at the park for my
Okay.
pre-selects. That's for pre-select only when you get to this tier one, tier two concept. If you opt to not make any pre-selects and do it
Any.
the day of and get to the park, you can pick any ride you want as long as availability is there for you.
Okay.
At Epcot, your tier one rides are Frozen Ever After, Remy, and Soarin'. That's it. Now, note, Test Track is closed for refurbishment. Don't know where that will fall when it reopens, but those are your only three.
Okay.
Hollywood Studios, your tier one rides are Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway, the Millennium Falcon, Rock and Roller Coaster, which note is opening tomorrow, July 1st. And I just gave away the fact that we're pre-recording this, but Rock and Roller Coaster was scheduled to open at the end of July. It's opening July 1st. So that's great news.
Right.
And then Slinky Dog Dash is the other tier one ride at Hollywood Studios.
Okay. Okay.
Interestingly enough to me, Animal Kingdom, all rides are the same tier. I say interesting to me because, again, I think there's rides that tend to be more popular than
Yeah,
others.
I agree.
Nonetheless, you can make any selections at Animal Kingdom.
Okay. That's fine. We'll just say like, oh yay, like glad we can put them all, lump them all into one and
That's-
get going.
Yep. And again, I'll restate this. The tiers only matter for pre-selects.
Pre-select.
Once you get
Okay.
into the park, the tier concept goes away. All right. If you're a park hopper, in the current Genie Plus system, in order to utilize this idea of lightning lane selections, you could purchase a single park admission for Genie Plus or a multi-park Genie Plus option. And of course, the price was a little bit higher for that option. With the new multi-pass system, the multi-park option goes away from a price perspective.
Okay.
You're paying a price if you're going to go to Magic Kingdom in the morning and park hop to Epcot in the afternoon, for instance. You're purchasing the Lightning Lane multi-pass for Magic Kingdom, and you're making your pre-selects for Magic Kingdom. And now you're saying, well, how the heck am I going to park hop and make selections? Pre-select up to 3 for one park only. Once you go into that park, once you've used your first multi-pass selection, and you can now make another selection because you can always have 3 rolling. Use one. I'm going to go make my next one. I can go make one for Epcot. So I don't have to use all 3 at the first park before I can pick at my park hopping park.
Love it.
Use
I
the first
do.
one,
I
I
love
can
it.
pick another place. Yes. So it's available to utilize, and there's no added cost as there is today with the
Right.
current system. Okay, so here are some things that you have with Genie Plus today that you won't have with the new system.
Okay. Okay.
And some of these, I'm going to be honest with you, are probably going to hurt. And
Oh.
let's just
Oh.
rip the band-aid off right now.
Oh my
With,
goodness. Okay.
with the new Lightning Lane multi-pass system, character meet and greets are not an option. They're gone.
That does hurt.
Yes.
Hmm.
If you were one who liked to utilize a Genie Plus selection for
For Mickey.
the parade, that's gone.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
your character meet and greets that are a current Lightning Lane pick and Genie Plus will not be with the new system.
Okay.
Now, something that exists with Genie Plus today that goes away with the new system, and I'm thankful for because it was incredibly confusing to people, is the 120-minute Genie Plus rule.
Thank goodness.
I don't even want to try to explain it
Nope.
because
With
don't
no
worry.
need. No need.
Yes. The idea of stacking with the Genie Plus system goes away.
Gone. Yay.
You can have 3 pre-selects and you're having a rolling 3 as long as availability exists. Something that's the same is you can only pick an attraction once
Okay.
in selection. So in Genie Plus today, if I get a ride slot for Jungle Cruise, love it, love the ride. You ride it, go through the lightning lane, don't have to wait in line as long as the standby, but you can only pick it once. That's how Genie Plus works. That's how the new multi-pass system will work.
Okay.
If you want to ride Jungle Cruise more than one time, you're doing the standby line for the rest of the times.
Okay.
Okay.
One and done is still there.
Yep. And then this last one that I'll note, and we've mentioned it already, is there is no extra charge to multi-pass for park hopping
Okay.
utilization like there is today. All right. We talked about the tiers and the concept with pre-select that you have tier 1 rides and then tier 2 rides, multi selection only. Virtual queue system will still exist as it does today when the new system comes into
Okay.
play. And the virtual queue is for Tron, for Guardians, and Tiana's.
Tiana's. Yep.
Okay. And then for all of the general rides outside of the virtual queue rides, standby lines will still exist.
Okay.
You don't have to purchase Genie Plus today. You don't have to purchase individual Lightning Multipass starting July 24th. You can get in the standby lines. That's optional to you. Prices for the new system have not been released. However, Disney states that prices will still vary by date and theme park, which they do today. And they also state that similar pricing for the new system to what Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lane prices are today.
Okay.
So take that for what it's worth. Now, I love this too. So mention the pre-selects, 3 pre-selects per person per day for your travel party. So a quick, simple example: if a family of 3, husband, wife, and their 7-year-old son or daughter are going to go to Disney, and you're going to go for 4 park days, you're getting to make 3 pre-selects per person per day, which is essentially 9 pre-selects per day, 3 for dad, 3 for mom, 3 for son or daughter, 9, and then times 4 park days,
Yeah.
you're making 36 pre-selections ahead of your first park day. That's
Love it.
amazing.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes. Now, something that does exist with Genie Plus today that I think gets really missed in the marketing of purchasing Genie Plus, and it will exist with the new Lightning Lane Multipass, is that Photo Pass digital park downloads of rides, attractions are available with the system.
Okay.
And let me say that again: Genie Plus today, Lightning Lane Multipass tomorrow. If I ride Tiana's, if I ride
Pirates, whatever,
Pirates,
Buzz,
whatever,
any of they yeah.
that has the, in the ride they're taking your photo.
Yep.
If you have purchased this system, you get those pictures free of charge.
Love it.
You do not have to buy Memory Maker to get these photos. I will state though, it's just the ride attractions that you get the rides digital download copies available to you at no cost outside of the purchase of the multi-pack system. If you were hoping to get your photo with Mickey, you would need Memory Maker.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's important to note. All right, here is my example.
Okay.
We'll dive
Hear
into
it.
whatever questions. So, my family is going to go to Disney, and we're going to arrive on September 8th, and we're going to stay through September 20th.
Okay.
Trust my math, that's 13 days.
Okay.
On September 1st, which is 7 days in advance of my first park day. We are staying on property. So on September 1st, if I want to purchase the multi-pass system for each of the days I'm there, I can purchase it for every one of those days on September 1st.
Okay.
And I can make 3 pre-selects per person in my party for all 13 days. That's an amazing benefit to the new system.
Yes.
And not only the multi-pass selections, but if I wanted to also purchase the Lightning Lane single
Single.
pass, I can also purchase those for each one of those 13 days on September 1st.
Yeah, I love it. And it, to me, I feel like it seems slightly overwhelming that that's a lot of selecting. But what I do love about it is that you can sit at home and do it and use your time at home or wherever you are and not do it again, like you said, sitting in a hotel room, trying to wake up when you're exhausted from the night before and just trying to, make sure you get something, and I love that.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think you would agree with the current system. You and I have talked about this before. We typically recommend Genie Plus for Magic Kingdom and for Hollywood
Harvard
Studios.
Studios, yeah.
We're not saying you shouldn't buy it for the other two parks, but if budget is a concern, Magic Kingdom and Hollywood are probably the two parks that you get the most bang for your buck with those systems. I don't see that changing with the new
Right.
Lightning Multi Pass. So if you were looking at buying, wanting to be cost conscious, you'd probably look to buy it for Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studio Days. Now, I'll say if there's a downside, and there's always a downside, right? Nothing's foolproof that makes everybody happy all the time. But if there is a downside with the concept of pre-select up to 7 days in advance, you are essentially now declaring 7 days in advance which park I'm going to go to on each day. Just what feels like just yesterday we got rid of the park reservation system, which forced us to declare a park day.
Right.
This, in a way, is essentially making you do that if
E
you choose to.
essentially, but then you also have the freedom if you have Pirate Copper to go along your day and, again, to me, if you have a short period of time, say you're only there for 2 or 3 days, like, this helps tremendously because you can go to all the 4 parks every single day if you wanted and use it and all the things and just know systematically where you wanted to start.
That's
I
right.
mean, because that's really all it's saying, excuse me, it's where you want to start. It's, I
That's
like
right.
to look at it that way.
Yeah, and understand too that if you're booking dining reservations, you have to do those 60 days in
So,
advance to get the best selection. So you've already, if you're doing those
yep,
things, you're kind of declaring which park am I going to each day. So
absolutely.
you can do the same here. You don't have to do the pre-selects. You can purchase the system the day of. Understand that ride attraction availability might be limited because people have got a 7 day or 3 day advance on you. And purchasing this is completely optional as well.
Okay. And that, yeah, those are great. And I think this is going to be another statement that we're going to be saying all the time because it is similar to the dining reservation system, right? I mean, similar.
Mhm.
And we know that people cancel those dining reservations all the time. So even though these pre-selects have been made, there people are going to get there or their trip's going to be canceled or they're going to get there and they're going to say, oh shoot, our friends are over at Epcot, we're not going to go to Magic Kingdom, let's cancel those. I think it's going to be a system where you're always checking.
Yes.
If you don't get what you want on your first day, don't be bummed out, don't be sad, and don't think that you're not going to get it. I think this is just going to go with lots of people, lots of cancellations, and there's going to be a lot of turnover on our options.
Yeah. You're right, and that's a good point to make. That with the current system, with the new system, you can modify
Hmm.
your selections. To Janelle's point, if I got something that I'm not necessarily keen on the time for,
Yeah,
and I can always refresh in the system and try to modify that to a better time, or modify to change it from one selection to another selection.
yeah,
And as Janelle said, people will do that. People will have last minute cancellations, whatever the case may be. So you'll want to check throughout your park day to see if something you couldn't get earlier, you can get later in the day. That
Yep,
happens.
absolutely.
Yes.
So, well, I am very happy with the changes. Now we'll just sit back and we'll wait for them to tell us the price, and then we'll we'll go from there.
Yes, absolutely. I think another thing that this pre-select up to 7 days in advance helps with is if you're working with a travel advisor like myself, a lot of us, we do this to make your park days, your vacation as magical as possible. You can lean on us 3 days, 7 days in advance for guidance and assistance. Whereas with the current system, when you're waking up the morning of the park day, you don't really have time to reach out to your travel agent and have them walk through with you. What should I pick for my first selection?
Right.
10 a.m. this morning when I get there. Doing it 7 days in advance, 3 days in advance, you can lean on travel advisors to help with some of that strategic planning.
I have one question.
Yeah.
If we have Disneylanders out there, has there been any dates or anything for theirs changes, or is it Disney World and Disneyland?
It is Disney World and Disneyland on
Perfect.
July 24th. The
Okay.
same goes into effect in both places.
Okay. Good to
Now,
know.
Disneyland, though, is different in the sense that I can buy Genie Plus the day I book my trip for
Right.
Disneyland, where you can't do that at Disney World. So
Okay.
that advantage is a little bit different there than it is here. But yes, the new system goes into play on July 24th at both
Okay.
Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California.
Okay. Good. Good to know.
Yep.
So, okay. Do you think we've covered everything?
I think we have. Like,
Perfect.
like anything and everything we talk about, I'm sure it will spur questions. Reach out to Janelle, reach out to myself. We would
Yes.
happily help you along your way. Um, at the end of the day, we want your experience to be as magical as possible.
Yes, we do. So we're here for you guys. Like Mike said at the beginning, I'm in the parks frequently. We're gonna go test the system. We'll say July 24th. I don't know if we'll do it then, but we will definitely test it out, and we'll be talking about this in the future, I'm sure. So uh, there's more to come on this subject.
Absolutely. Well, we wanted
So
to get to the early information in case you're coming down to the parks the latter part of
yes.
July.
All right. Well, thanks for this bonus episode, Mike.
Yes, absolutely. Exciting
And
times.
yeah, exciting times. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And again, I'm Janelle, Disney Parks with Love on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And Mike, you are.
I am Mike underscore Disney Travel at all those same places Janelle mentioned.
All right. We hope to see you guys there. Have a wonderful day. And we will see you next time.
Yep. Magical day, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.